You've probably seen a number of these 10 by 20 metal framed canopy top storage sheds. They're pretty inexpensive and they're pretty popular. Well, they're good for maybe 2 or 3 years and then the top goes bad. Well, I had a number of these frames around and I finally figured out how to make them into pretty serviceable little sheds. I built one of these sheds out on our place and it's on a kind of a slope, so I need to backfill some of this and bring it up to grade. This is where this little bobcat is pretty handy. Well, good morning once again. We're down kind of to the wire. We've been mid-20s most of the week in overnight temperatures, and this week we're headed down to some days that are single digits, so this is kind of my last day to get things buttoned up. I do have some 5/4 material. This is earth contact treated lumber. I'm going to put around the base of this shed and then backfill it, I think, with some road mix, or I have plenty of extra dirt here also. So I'll show you what I did with the pipe going down the pit. I have that insulated, and I have to finish putting insulation around all my plumbing inside in that last corner but that's pretty doable today. There's some other things I need to do, but first I'll show you what I have on my downspout, my tube going down into the pit. So this is where my 1.5-inch feed line goes down, and then it goes downhill. I've got R27 batting behind the pipe. That's about how much room I had behind it. I have 2 wraps of a foil reflective insulation, double thickness around the pipe itself. Then I took some batting of this R38 that I've used in the attic, and I have it covered on the face of it, and I think to kind of hold it all in place, I may either put some slats or a piece of OSB or plywood or something, whatever I have in my scrap pile down there, to kind of keep that in place. So I had some extra insulation that I filled up on each side. Right underneath this siding is where I'm going to take this 5/4 and put all the way around this building and then backfill up to it. I've beveled it so it fits underneath the siding and will shed the moisture and completely encase this. So that's kind of where I have all this, and you're not going to be able to see it down below, but where I have my 1.5-inch flexible PVC going down, above it I have a piece of, right on top of the pipe, I have a piece of this 2-inch styrofoam that I used inside, about 8-inch wide. I put it on top of the pipe, and then I threw some dirt on top of it, and I may put another 6-8 inches, whatever, on top of it to kind of give us a solid base floor to it. You have another ladder that I'm going to put in here for access, and I still have to build some type of a trapdoor type of deal. Don't have that quite figured out just yet, but these are kind of the higher priorities on my list. So you can see I've taken this to the shop and I 45 this top edge. So this is going to fit underneath the siding, and then this 45 will help moisture shed away from the building. Well, that's kind of the plan, clear around. I'm going to take and fill it kind of close to the top of this board. Thought maybe I'd use some road mix. There's a gravel pit right next door here that's been graciously given the opportunity to go get some material from there. You know, I get repeated requests to sponsor this channel, and so far I have not done that because nothing really applies to what I do. I'm not into video games and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not sponsored by Makita, but you probably notice I use a lot of Makita tools. And being out here, this is not a plug. It is, but it's not a paid deal. I just like Makita. But being out here without electricity, I've gone to a lot of these cordless 18-volt tools, and I just really like them. I should maybe sometime go down and show you a lineup of the Makita tools I have. It's really quite a few. This little rascal got a lot of power. It really lasts quite a while. I've done quite a bit of trimming and fitting down here, and I've got this calf shed to build hopefully yet today. That's what all this material is here. I've got it kind of pre-cut, so hopefully it'll just go together fairly quickly with this lumber that's on top of the pickup rack. But I'll use that a lot today. As I was digging this out on this north side, ground's froze for the top couple inches. North side doesn't get the sun to thaw it out, so the freeze is starting for the year. Oh, it's a good thing to get this buttoned up when we do. Well, I didn't realize I'd lost my battery, but I did. But this was the last side, this is the north side, so I've got this all the way around. So this will be the east side, and this is the south side, and the west side. So I'll put my plywood over this hole here for the moment, just in case calves come along. So I got to finish inside here. Maybe I'll finish buttoning up the top. And I'm going to pay a little more attention around this pipe. I got some of this R2738. I'm going to pack that in pretty snug. Some of this 2-inch styrofoam I'm going to fit in the corner just like all the rest of it. Gotta button this up. You can probably see from the background that we've had quite a little winter show up. This last week we were down into single digits. I think 4 or 5 was the low. We had 10, 11, 12 for highs. Pipe here, it's a steel pipe. Foam backing on the back of this box to help try to seal this up. Had to cut out a little notch here for the door handle. Catches. Well, we had a break in the temperature for a couple days, so I ran out quick to do some of these odds and ends to insulate the inlet pipe where I filled this tank, and I hadn't insulated the door yet, so I wanted to do that and kind of button up this little pit. It's really not quite what I had in mind yet, but it's going to have to do. We're headed back down to that 0 category in a couple days, so I was kind of hurrying to try to get this done. And in that hurrying, I didn't get my lapel mic hooked up correctly, so there's a lot of wind, but that's just the way it goes. Anyway, this kind of shows you some of the finer details that I did trying to secure this tank before the cold sets back again. So we appreciate you following along.